Have you ever wondered about the role of the World Bank in shaping the global economy? This question takes us back to the middle of the 20th century, to an old hotel in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. Here, in July of 1944, representatives from 44 nations convened in what was officially known as the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference. The world was still embroiled in the throes of World War II, and the devastating effects of the Great Depression, only a decade prior, were still fresh in everyone's minds. They recognized the need for a new financial order, one that would foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, and help rebuild nations torn apart by conflict. And so, the World Bank, initially named the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, was born. Its initial goals were ambitious yet clear: to provide loans for the reconstruction of war-ravaged Europe and the development of poorer nations. The idea was to finance these projects by selling bonds to private investors. And thus, the World Bank started its journey as a unique blend of a humanitarian agency and an investment bank. The Bretton Woods Conference also saw the birth of the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, a sister institution to the World Bank. While both bodies were created to ensure stability and growth in the global economy, they served two distinct roles. The IMF was designed to monitor exchange rates and lend reserve currencies to nations with trade deficits, while the World Bank's focus was on long-term economic development and poverty reduction. These were the humble beginnings of a financial institution that would grow to become a global powerhouse. From its initial focus on Europe, the World Bank expanded its reach to the developing world, financing everything from infrastructure projects to education programs, healthcare initiatives to environmental protection schemes. The World Bank, born out of the ashes of World War II, was set on a path to become a major player in the global economy. Its influence and scope have only grown over the decades, shaping the economic landscape of our world in ways that few could have initially imagined. The World Bank, however, didn't remain static. It evolved over time to meet the changing needs of the world. In its early years, the World Bank's primary focus was on reconstructing Europe, which had been ravaged by the Second World War. But as Europe began to recover and stand on its own feet, the World Bank's gaze turned southward, towards the developing countries. In the mid-20th century, the World Bank began to recognize the vast potential and urgent needs of these developing nations. It expanded its focus to include poverty reduction and infrastructure development. The bank understood that in order to bolster economies, it had to first address the basic needs of the people. To this end, it launched initiatives aimed at improving living conditions, enhancing agricultural productivity, and promoting education and health. The World Bank, however, was not just about providing financial aid. It was about fostering sustainable growth. It emphasized the need for sound economic policies and efficient institutions. The bank started to provide technical assistance and policy advice in addition to loans. Then came the 80s and 90s, a period marked by significant structural adjustments. The World Bank, in response to the changing global economic landscape, started to promote market-oriented reforms. It encouraged countries to liberalize their economies, reduce public spending, and foster private sector development. These structural adjustments were sometimes controversial, but they reflected the bank's evolving understanding of development and its commitment to adapt. Over the decades, the World Bank has indeed come a long way. It has transformed from a post-war reconstruction agency to a global development institution. Its focus has expanded, its strategies have evolved, and its impact has grown. From reconstruction to development, the World Bank's role in the global economy grew broader and more complex. It has become a pivotal player in the quest for global prosperity, relentlessly working towards a world free of poverty. The World Bank's evolution is a testament to its commitment to adapt and respond to the ever-changing needs of our global economy. Fast forward to today, and the World Bank is a multifaceted institution with a far-reaching impact. Picture an organization that's a major player on the global stage. That's the World Bank. Today, its initiatives and goals are diverse and ambitious, aiming to promote sustainable economic growth and reduce poverty across the globe. The World Bank's primary focus is on providing financial and technical assistance to developing countries. It's no small task, but this international financial institution is up to the challenge. Its financial support comes in the form of loans and grants. These funds are directed towards a wide array of projects designed to boost economic development and improve living conditions in poorer nations. But the World Bank's role goes beyond just providing funds. It also offers technical assistance to these countries. This is where the bank's expertise really shines. It shares knowledge, experience, and best practices to help these nations manage their economic and social development effectively. Whether it's advising on policy reforms, providing training to government officials, or conducting research to inform decision-making, the World Bank is instrumental in equipping these countries with the tools they need to thrive. And yet, the World Bank's role isn't confined to individual countries. It's a global player, shaping policy decisions and development strategies worldwide. It's involved in international negotiations and has a say in setting the agenda for global economic matters. It plays a pivotal role in tackling global challenges, from climate change to public health crises, from financial stability to conflict resolution. The World Bank's mission is undeniably vast, and its influence is far-reaching. Its operations span all corners of the globe, from the bustling cities of Asia to the remote villages of Africa, from the emerging markets of Latin America to the transitioning economies of Eastern Europe. So what does this all mean? It means that the World Bank isn't just a bank. It's an institution that shapes our world, touching the lives of billions, guiding economic development, and striving to make our world a better place. The World Bank is now a central player in global economics, influencing policy decisions and development strategies around the world. However, the World Bank's influence is not without controversy. As we delve deeper into the World Bank's operations, we encounter a series of criticisms and controversies that cast a shadow on its global influence. One of the most significant critiques is the bank's alleged promotion of neoliberal policies. Detractors argue that the bank's approach often favors free market capitalism, which can exacerbate income inequality and environmental degradation. Moreover, the World Bank's loans often come with conditions known as structural adjustment policies. These policies, aimed at reforming a country's economic structure, may require borrowing nations to reduce public spending, liberalize their economies, or deregulate key sectors. This can, in turn, lead to significant socio-economic changes, not all of which are positive. For instance, austerity measures can result in cuts to vital public services, impacting the most vulnerable sections of the population. The World Bank's influence on developing nations has also been a point of contention. Critics argue that the bank's power dynamics can lead to a form of economic imperialism, with wealthier nations imposing their economic models on poorer ones. This has sparked debates about the ethics of the bank's operations and its role in perpetuating economic inequality on a global scale. Furthermore, the effectiveness of the World Bank's efforts has been under the microscope. While it has undoubtedly contributed to economic development and poverty reduction in several regions, the outcomes have not always matched the ambitious goals set. Some critics argue that the bank's projects often fail to deliver sustainable long-term improvements, raising questions about their overall impact. Lastly, the World Bank's transparency and accountability have been questioned. Critics argue that the bank's decision-making process is often opaque, and its officials are largely insulated from the consequences of their policies. This lack of transparency can undermine public trust in the perceived legitimacy of the bank's actions. While the World Bank has undoubtedly made a significant impact on the global economy, its role and methods continue to be the subject of intense scrutiny and debate. So, what role will the World Bank play in the future of global economics, you might ask? The answer to that is as complex as the global economy itself, but let's try to break it down a bit. In the face of ever-evolving global economic trends and challenges, the World Bank must continue to adapt and respond effectively. One of the key areas where the World Bank might focus its efforts is in the developing world. As these economies grow and evolve, the World Bank could play a pivotal role in ensuring that this growth is sustainable, equitable, and inclusive. It's also worth noting the increasing importance of environmental sustainability in economics. As our world grapples with the harsh realities of climate change, the World Bank has the potential to drive significant change by supporting projects that promote environmental sustainability and resilience. It could be instrumental in steering the global economy towards a greener, more sustainable future. Another area that could define the World Bank's future role is technology and innovation. With the rise of digital economies and cryptocurrencies, the global economic landscape is changing rapidly. The World Bank could play a crucial role in ensuring that these advancements benefit everyone and not just a select few. Of course, all these potential directions come with their own set of challenges. The World Bank will need to navigate political landscapes, manage risks, and address criticisms while staying true to its mission of reducing poverty and promoting shared prosperity. However, one thing is clear. The World Bank cannot afford to remain static in a dynamic world. It must evolve and adapt to the changing global economic landscape, leveraging its influence to make a positive impact. As we look towards the future, it's important to remember that the World Bank is not just an institution, it's a symbol of global cooperation and shared responsibility. Its actions and decisions will shape not just the global economy, but the lives of millions of people around the world. As the global economy evolves, so too will the role of the World Bank. Its influence on global economics is undeniable, but the shape of that influence in the future